Three, two, one. There we go. All right. Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. It would not be Monday if we weren't doing campaign kickoff call. I am so energized this week. I just spent the last couple days with my buddy Tom Ferry, partner of mine. We had a couple days to mastermind together, and he's in Boston because we're doing a couple events here in the Northeast this week. And I'll tell you what's interesting about that conversation is, we were discussing and kind of debating, Lee, like what are the big trends we should be paying attention to in 2026? And we are like, what's going to happen with interest rates, going to happen with inventory, what's going to happen with the, Compass and Anywhere acquisition, and what's going to happen with Zillow, and how the loss is going to play out. And the one thing that we kept thinking about and talking about and strategizing about is the fact that at the end of the day, the agents who are going to win are the ones who are able to keep their costs low when it comes to acquiring customers. And I think it's probably one of the things that is one of the least talked about kind of strategies with business planning, which is on one side of the spectrum, you have, like we talked about this last week, you have like these, referral deals, like let's say from a relocation company that come with a 40 or 50% relocation referral fee. And on the very other opposite side of the spectrum, you have leads that are like people responding to your emails who like cost you like $3 to get the lead, and now it becomes a conversation. And then there's like a messy middle where there's a whole bunch of other sources. And so when we think about your business, there are only two ways to grow your real estate business. You can optimize an existing lead pillar that is like driving the cost down, that's improving the performance, that's tweaking the headlines, it's trying different topics and hooks. And, or I guess in this case, or you can add a new lead pillar. So if you're getting your business from your SOI and open houses, maybe you add expireds. Maybe if you're doing expireds and FISBOs and door knocking, you add social media. But there are only two ways to grow your business. You optimize or you add. But in both instances, you want to figure out a way to make sure that you have a really healthy makeup of like low cost lead sources. And so why campaign kickoff is my favorite call of the week, Lee, is because we are focused on helping you generate business from the network, the audience, the leads you already have.
Right.
Where
You've already
that's the
paid for them.
You
That's
already
way
paid
more
for it.
interesting, right?
Exactly. So Lee, why don't you kick things off? I'll get off my soapbox here. Why don't you give everyone a lay of the land? What do we do in campaign kickoff call? And then we'll talk about the announcement at the end of today's session.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely stay tuned to the end. We've got some exciting things to share. But campaign kickoff is our chance to meet with you guys, go over the week's plan, give some tips on executing it, kind of the strategy behind the plan, and dig into that. Jimmy, I want to add really quick. I don't think it's used a lot in real estate, but in software, there's a customer acquisition cost lever
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
super important. And it's interesting that I don't feel like it gets used a lot in real estate. So this idea of how much does it really cost us? Is it a percentage? Is it a few dollars? Or is it a free email
Yeah.
that attributes to that customer acquisition cost?
Yeah, and Jim Hill. Hey Jim, good to see you in the call. And by the way, let us know if you're in. We have the attack of the bots as always when we do any Zoom call.
Yes.
But I want to call out Jim's comment. But let us know in the chat right now. Is this the first time you've been a part of campaign kickoff, or are you now a regular viewer and
OG.
participant in the program here? Let us know in the chat right now. We got a bunch of OGs on this. Hey, Ellie. Well, hold on a second, Ellie George. I love Ellie. And by the way, Ellie, I've been following the story online with the baby. I mean, just incredible. Every time I see it, I love it. I love seeing that progress there. Um, so Jim asked a question earlier. We got a lot of first timers, so we'll go through the
I
basics
love
here
it.
too. But Jim asked the question: is it better to always optimize first? Jim, as a general rule of thumb, the answer is yes. However, however, you want to kind of get there fast, meaning, if you send emails, a lot of emails, once you follow our playbook, yeah, you can make improvements to it, but there'll be incrementalism. At a certain point, if you have optimized for a month or two of your channels and you're not really seeing much gain, that's when you know, okay, it's time for me to add a new distribution channel. Okay, so on that note, Lee, let me go ahead and share my screen. And by the way, if you somehow stumbled upon this call and you're not part of listing leads, maybe a friend invited you, maybe you refer to us, maybe you saw us on social media and you got a link because you bribed someone to give it to you. Totally fine with us. Lee will drop a link in where you can subscribe to join and be a part of our insanely ambitious, optimistic, kind, and just sharing community that we have in real estate. I mean, I said this in a couple of weeks ago, Lee. I'm like, this is one of my favorite. This is probably I built a lot of communities in real estate. This is the single best community I've ever built in terms of the diversity of people and talent and experience and background, but also just the vibes. I mean, like just the type of energy we have there. No complaining,
Really,
no
people
crying,
sharing,
just like doing the
yeah,
work.
sharing strategies, showing, little tips they did, how they tweaked something, maybe how they buy a
I
bunch of
love it.
stamps for a discount, all the good stuff.
If you're looking for people to surround yourself with people who like they always say your network is your net worth, like that's what we got here in listing leads. All right, so Lee, um, let's get into the plan here. So every week at Listing Leads, we organize a marketing plan to make sure that you are constantly engaging your database, converting your database, and growing your database. So on the left side here, we start with Mondays. Mondays, as you all know, is deal of the week. Lee will drop a link over to a free tool we have, but at a high level, we have an email campaign, which is like, hey, here's an example of an email that we would want you to send. Deal of the week, insert the property address, the property maybe the under a certain price in a neighborhood. And then here's like the basic format of a deal of the week. And so if you're new to the concept, popularized by my buddy Sharon, who I give credit for every time I do this, eventually I'm just gonna start taking credit for it because now I feel like I've been popularizing this more than him. But what I'll say is like the goal of this is just to have a consistent email that you send out every single week without fail, regardless if you have a listing. So if you live in an area where there's 30 or 40 or 50 new houses hitting the market every week, identify what the best home is, send an email out to your database, letting them know, getting people to raise their hand. And if you do it consistently enough, people will respond. It creates conversations, which lead to appointments. Now, on Mondays, we recommend doing the deal of the week email, and you'll always see us include a new deal of the week social media campaign. And you can see here, this is an example of what we just did, right? This is an example of a new Instagram story. And so, one of the best ways to start your week off rightly is get your people in your database to open up an email and click on an email and reply to an email. And then get the people who are following you on social media to start engaging with your poll so you can have more conversations. Now, let me back up for a second, Lee. We also included this week because we haven't done it for a few months now, but I just love this campaign. For those of you who are really serious about getting a lot of listings before the end of the year, you'll see that we have also a deal of the week letter. And so, Lee, this is a letter where you can use. We have a partnership with Breakthrough Broker. You can build a list with Breakthrough Broker or your own title rep, and you can say, "All right, I found a house at 123 Main Street in Bedford Village. I'm going to find the 100 closest homes that are similar to that house that have been on the market or that have not sold or sold more than, let's say, 7 or 10 years ago. And I'm going to send this exact letter to them. And it's like, hey, this home's getting a lot of attention. I featured it as a deal of the week. It's got a lot of views on Zillow. It's getting more activity and showings. And we're already starting to see some activity. And again, those three bullet points can be whatever you want to point out. Just like three unique things about this home that makes it interesting. Why does this matter? When a home in your neighborhood gets a lot of attention, it means you live in a highly desirable area and buyers are willing to pay a premium for it. And it also means it's likely going to impact your home value. Would you like me to send you the details on how this is going to impact your home? If yes, text me. And so, Lee, we have a whole video on this. Like we can actually walk you through how to create this. But I would be like between now and the end of the year, Lee, like my mind is how do I help every single listing leads member start Q1 off on fire? I mean, just like have it the best year they've had in 4+ years. I'm starting to incorporate this campaign into my SOP on a weekly basis. Let me just stop there, Lee. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, okay. I saw a question coming here, and I want to make sure I
Oh,
got
sorry to
that.
know if you're throwing it to me or if I was tackling it, but I wanted to mention it live. So let's dig back to the deal of the week email super quick.
Yep,
Uh, the idea on this email is not we're not sending the actual listing. Jimmy, can you click on the actual campaign for deal of the week, the email
sure.
campaign? So the idea is we're not actually sending a listing, and there's two reasons for that. Number one, the call to action is to reply to the email. We don't want to send them a listing and they click at it and then they request it on Zillow to go get a tour. We want them to reach out to you. And
Correct.
secondarily, you can send out a listing. This was part of the question. You can send out any listing because you're not sending the details and you're not saying it's your listing. So you can send someone else's listing as long as you're not identifying the listing.
Yep.
Um, you don't need permission to share that listing. So I just wanted to be uber clear that again, this is a listing that's helping you or us write an email
Yep.
to which the reply is the only goal. We just want somebody to reply, to engage with us, then go be a real estate agent. And Alex added a great question too. If you're more of a part-time agent or just trying to get going, trying to get listings, this is a great way to do it because it
That's
looks
exactly right.
like you have a bunch of listings and that you're very active in the market.
The beauty of Deal of the Week is you don't need a big database, you don't need a big following, and you don't need a big budget to get some momentum going. And I think there's an expression that we like to use, which is busy people want to work with busy people. And so much of, I think, the marketing is just like communicating that you're in the market, that you're communicating about what's happening in the market, new inventory, new businesses opening up, new market trends that are going to impact the consumer. Like you, you'll hear me say this oftentimes on these calls, which is like your business, however big your business is, or however big you want your business to become, you have to say, I have to make sure my audience is even bigger. And so the size of your business is a direct proportion to the size of your audience. And so much of the deal of the week is just kind of like engaging and growing your audience uh, so you can be able to get more opportunities. So, Lee, on Tuesday of this week is a direct response campaign. So if you've been following us over the last probably 4 or 5 weeks, we've actually been doing a lot of what we refer to as value add campaigns. So a value add campaign is, hey, here's some information that's happening in the market. Here's 2 or 3 things that you should know. And oh, by the way, if you need any help, I'm here for you. But we're giving like 95% value with a very soft call to action. Tuesday is a direct response campaign. And so the subject line of this email is going to say, your maybe price. And we're using a line from my buddy Jimmy Burgess, which is, I'd be a terrible agent if I didn't ask. So that's the preview text in the email. And the subject line is your maybe price. Is there a number? And by the way, if you have your merge fields figured out with your email, you say hi Lee. Not required, but you could. Is there a number, a number where, comma, even if you're not planning to sell, comma, you'd pause for a second and think, maybe I would consider it. Just curious where your head is at. And so this is an example of a spin-off of a campaign that we did in the past. It was wildly successful called the Name Your Price campaign. And what we're basically trying to do in a very creative and a very clear and hopefully compelling way is to try to basically say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, are you thinking about potentially putting your house on the market? Are you at least open to the idea? And the reason why we're doing this is that this campaign is simply designed to be a conversation starter. It's simply designed to put you in a position where you're getting people to open up the email and then hopefully reply to the email. And that can ultimately lead to an appointment, that can lead to a listing, that can lead to more revenue for your business. Now, we know the data behind this, Lee, which is we know that approximately 1 of every 4 people who request a CMA from an agent, and this is really, I think, a comparable kind of call to action. Um, we know that 1 of 4 of those people are going to transact within 12 months. So if you send this email to 500 people and you get 3 or 4 responses, you get a transaction in that email. Done. I mean, just got to have that. Like that's how that math is going to shake out for you. So Lee, let me just stop there. Is there anything else you want to add as it relates to the email of the week?
Yeah, if you want to grab Emily's comment, I think that'd be a great thing to share. I don't have anything to add other than again, the consistency is the key, sending this out consistently so that people can respond, search their email for real estate, um, and all that good stuff. And David's got a great question too we can tackle after you grab Emily's.
I hope everyone can see. I want everyone to jump over to the Zoom chat. I want you to scroll up to see Emily Hodgman, who works as part of the Gretchen Coley team. Gretchen Coley, who's a dear friend, an absolute superstar agent in Raleigh, North Carolina. Had a chance to visit and spend a couple days with her a couple years back. If you've been on these calls, you probably have heard me mention just working with Gretchen because I just have such incredible respect for her and her business and how she runs it. Well, Emily just said, you guys can see this, just sent it out today. I've had 11 conversations so far. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, that's exactly what we want you to have. Now, Emily has extensive experience as an ISA, leading an ISA team, doing the job herself. And so she is completely unafraid of picking up the phone, making the phone calls. And so what I would encourage, I'm sure Emily would back me up here, is what I would encourage you to do is to send the email and then get ready to hit the phones and follow up with anyone who's opening up that email. I
Right.
mean, that's really how you move the needle. So love, love, love seeing it, Emily. Amazing work there. Um, okay, so on that note, and by the way, just a quick plug here, just a quick plug. At Listing Leads, we have a feature called AI mode. How many of you actually in the chat? How many of you just want us to do your like seeing how we did this, the deal of the week email and the email of the week email? How many of you just want us to do your email marketing for you? Just like let me know in the chat. Like just like how many of you just want to say, hey guys, love what you're doing. Just do it for me. I don't even have to think about it. Like I love it. I know it works. I see the results. I see the success. Just do it for me. Okay. So Tiffany, Annette, and everyone else who's saying me, please. Like we have a product we built that does this for you. And it's incredibly affordable, relatively speaking, to any other solution out there. And most importantly, it's not a tool where you're going to have to like figure it out. I mean, it's insanely simple. So, everyone who's saying me, make sure that you drop in your email into the chat because Lee and the team will reach out to you afterwards to get you more details on Listing Leads AI mode. So, just drop your email into the chat, make sure we have your right email, and we'll keep things rolling here. So, Lee, we talked about the deal of the week, which is Monday. We talked about your maybe price. Emily, 11 conversations off of this one email. Incredible. Let's talk about Wednesday and Thursday, which is the beginning of the week is always about engaging. And everyone just, let me just pause because I want to just everyone see my hands here. The beginning of the week is about engagement. The middle of the week is really all about conversion, and the end of the week is about growing. So like we follow this cadence. Like this is not just like, hey, here's a template, good luck. We have a marketing strategy that we support with the campaigns we create for you. So it's engagement, it's conversion, it's growth. And if you kind of get into that rhythm, that heartbeat every single week, right? That's when you start to see the results begin to compound over time. So, Lee, this campaign is my favorite campaign that is not being used by nearly enough people.
Yep.
And that is the infinite referral script. Now, before I pull the referral script up, let me just give you a quick high level here. There is folks in the chat, let me know. Is there anything better than a warm referral? Like, let me know. Is there anything better than a warm referral? Like, I Lee, I can't think of anything like,
I
hey,
can't either.
I mean, hey, Lee, I got my buddy Eric who's looking to sell his house. I thought I connected the two of you guys. Hey, Eric, Lee's an amazing realtor. He's going to do a great job for you. Hope you guys have a chance to connect. I mean,
Right.
it is the best thing imaginable. And the problem is that not enough of us have a strategy to manufacture it.
Yep.
And so I think right now the challenge is, and yeah, see, by the way, as I mentioned before, if you guys want us to do your email marketing for you, just drop your emails into the chat and we'll follow up post today's campaign kickoff call. Um, Lee, not enough of us have a proactive strategy to generate referrals.
Yep.
So I implore you just to have some faith in us here at Listing Leads that we know what we're doing. Is that we have this campaign called the Infinite Referral Script. And the way this works is, and I'll pull up so you can see this, is that you can take any listing, whether it's a deal of the week listing, or it's a new listing you have, or it's an off market home that you have access to, or a pocket listing, and you can use this exact script, which is, hey, Lee, I know you're not currently looking to move, but since you are so well connected, I wanted to reach out. I got a new listing. about to hit the market. I think it's going to sell pretty quickly. Think it might be worth sharing with someone you know. And Lee, between now and the end of the year, I think that I can help everyone in today's call get 5 to 10 additional referrals if if you commit to sending this to at least 15 people per week. Okay. So we got 6, 8 weeks left in the year. If you're sending to 15 people per week, send this exact script to people in your SOI, people in your network. It doesn't even have to be your clients you work with in this past. It could be your family members, your friends, your network, your social media following, right? Find a list, follow the logic here. Find a listing that you think is going to sell quickly, and then turn the corner and send this script. Because everybody knows somebody who's looking to make a move. That's how real estate has worked since the beginning of time, right? It's a funny story. I once asked my mom this. I said, "Hey, mom," I referred my mom to an agent, and the agent did an amazing job. They helped sell one of their investment properties. And I said, "Hey, mom, I'm just curious, like, how was your experience working with this agent?" And she goes, "Oh, they were wonderful, Jimmy. They were they communicated the entire time. Like, it was a difficult deal. They got it done. And amazing, amazing, amazing." I said, "Hey, mom, just out of curiosity." This is a time where I was using that phrase all the time because we just wrote the book. I said, "Just out of curiosity," I said, "Have you referred them any customers?" And she was ashamed. She goes, "Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to." And I said, "Okay, well, just help me out here." I said, do you know? Because it's been a few months since you bought the property or sold the property. I said, I'm like, who do you know who's like bought a house, sold a house, or like is in the market? And she goes, "Oh, it's not a very big list." I said, "Just take a few minutes, just like go through your mental Rolodex." Lee, I got to find the text. She sent me a list of 15 people.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
15 people. And so this is the thing I want you to take away from this is that delivering a great experience for your sellers is what they pay you a commission for. Following up post sale is how you turn that single relationship into 10 more. And so we want to have a proactive referral strategy. So you get it. So Lee, you got a list, you get a listing. I mean, doesn't make a difference whose listing it is. Your
Right.
listing, pocket listing, off market listing, deal of the week listing. Hey, Lee, I know you're not currently looking to make a move, but since you're so well connected, here you go. And Lee, this is the lowest cost option you can be able to, like, lowest cost deal you can manufacture right now. That's gonna you ain't gonna have to chase the deal. You can have to follow up 25 times. It's a warm handoff. So I just love this campaign. We have this as the Wednesday deal, our Wednesday text of the week. Now, I thought it'd be a perfect time, Lee, to sort of dust off an old campaign that we used in the past that was really, really effective. I remember Nicole on actually hit me up. Odom, excuse me, Nicole Odom hit me up on Instagram, and she's like, "Yeah, hey, I got this person to respond who's been ghosting me since March." And
Right.
so, how many of you? Let me know in the chat right now. How many of you have people that you were talking to? Have people who you were talking to in the spring or maybe even early summer who just like fell off the face of the earth? And there's Nicole. Hey, Nicole.
Yeah.
Like, how
Yeah.
many of you have people who have fallen off the face of the earth?
And what are they waiting on? Stuff that's happening now. We want to wait until the fall. We want to wait for interest rates. We want to wait for
Oh, I love it. I
our
love
kids
it.
to get back in school.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, I just noticed that Nicole's on the call. Nicole, do me a favor, post that success story in the mastermind group if you haven't done so already. We would really appreciate it. So Nicole's just a machine. I have such utmost respect for Nicole because Nicole doesn't just like say, "Hey, great idea." She actually goes out there and executes it. And of course, I know she probably wants to be more consistent with it and probably wants to do it more often, but she is one of those people who every time I see her out there, she's just doing the work. And I just have such respect for her and the type of agent that she is. But she had a great success story where she used Scott Stedman's campaign to generate a come list me call, and we want to make sure we share that with our community. So the ghost text is, by the way, if you look, Leah, look how many yeses we have here, right?
Amazing.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so here's the ghost text. So this ghost text was based off of this psychologist named Vanessa Van Edwards, and she said, "Lee, there are only 3 ways to make yourself more likable. 3 magic phrases, and one of those magic phrases is basically saying like, 'Hey, hey Lee, I saw this thing and I thought of you.
Right.
And that magic phrase of like, hey, I just saw this thing, I thought of you, makes the person on the other side, the recipient on the other side, feel special. And it creates a connection with them. And so the ghost text is basically this is you find maybe one or two properties that hit the market that are interesting or unique, that are relevant to the agent, relevant to the consumer's interest. So if you know the last time you talked to them, Lee, they were looking for Boston condos in the North End between 1.25 to 1.5 million dollars, and you're like, you know what? I just saw a condo hit the market. I'm gonna say, hey Lee, 20 Towson just came on the market, and I immediately thought of you. And I mean, in this case, we're saying, hey, I immediately thought, Lee and Mary would love this spot. I hope you guys are doing well. How closely have you been following the market? And what we're doing with this, okay, I can't, because we're doing a webinar right now, Lee, so I can't see everybody, but just everyone play along with me for 1 second. I'm going to give you a quick pro tip because I want to ingrain this into your brains because you're going to do marketing beyond what we teach you at Listing Leads because you're going to fall in love with the results you get. But the mistake everybody makes when it comes to marketing is they have their calls to actions, their offers are, hey, if you're thinking about buying and selling or investing, give me a call. Hey, scan this QR code. Hey, visit my website. Hey, make sure you call me and text me also here. Like the big mistake that we make is we ask the consumer to do too much. So is selling like just everyone who's right now, hopefully you guys are alone right now, not in a big group of other agents. But if you are, someone has to lead the way here. Is selling a big decision or is it a small decision? Let me know in the chat right now. Like, is it a big decision or is it a small decision? You can see Jim, it's huge. Rhonda,
Yeah.
it's big, right? It's huge. I mean, people, I think I saw some data on this, Lee, which is I think the average consumer thinks about selling for like 6 months before they even reach out to an agent. It might be like 5, 6 months. I mean, which is totally expected. So with all of your offers, the idea is to make a big decision into a really small decision. Make a big step, like selling my house is a big step. Talking about what's happening in the market is a really small step. And so every time you have an offer, call to action, CTA on your postcards, maybe it's a comment below on Instagram Reels, whatever it is, make a big step, a small step. That's how you increase the number of conversations that you're having. So in this case, if I go back to this text here we have with the ghost text, it's like it's not like, hey Lee, you still looking to buy? That's a big
Right.
big question. I'm like, no, hey
Right.
hey Lee, how closely have you been following the market? And then lastly, for this week, so let me just recap. Today, deal of the week. Send out the email, send out the post on social media, and if you got a little bit extra time, follow the SOP on executing the direct mail campaign. This stuff just works. Then tomorrow, if you're not using AI mode and you want to do it yourself, send out the maybe price. Like Emily said, 11 conversations. Send it out and get ready to hit the phones. Then on Wednesday, 15 text to people in your SOI. That's all I'm asking for. 15 texts and just post the success story back in the group. On Thursday, let's go chase some of these people who have been basically ghosting us, right? Let's go find all of them. Let's chase them down. And then finally on Friday, I like to use Friday because, like, by the way, you can take Wednesday and Thursday's sales scripts and you can extend those from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So you can sort of break it up. Lee, I could send it like 5 on Wednesday, 5 on Thursday, 5 on Saturday, or Friday, 5 on Saturday. I could do the same thing with the ghost script. I can just go through my list of 20 people who ghosted me and just like spread it out. So you don't do it all in one day is the point. But Lee, on Friday, I like for you to build up your network. And so in the chat right now, let us know. Like, is YouTube a is YouTube and social media a big priority? Like, do you want to get more business from social media? Do you want to get more business from YouTube next year? Like, yes or no in the chat. Because one of the things you can just see everyone saying yes, 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 yes. Ellie's saying hell yeah. Like I'm telling you right now, folks. I like Lee. Um, we do a podcast. Me, Tom Ferry, and Jason Pantana do a podcast called The Growth Mode. And we now have, I think we just started, we have about 2,000 subscribers to the pod. And one of the things that we're doing is we're trying to kind of eat our own dog food or drink our own champagne. And what we do is like it's a show where we try to provide advice on growing your business, but we try to take more of a general like business strategy perspective versus just like, oh, do this marketing campaign. And so what's interesting about that is that we now have like I think probably like 7,000, 5 to 7,000 listeners a week to that podcast. And what's been fun about it is that people, it's got 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. We launched it maybe like I think we're on like episode 12 or something like that. But we don't really promote it so much on social media. We don't really promote it to our email list that often, maybe once a week or once every other week or so. And but it's been so incredible to see how many people watch it. Like I actually didn't think anyone was watching it. And then I get feedback like Jim and like Ellie, thank you very much. Like and Nicole, like people actually do watch it and listen to it. They like the long form version. At Listing Leads, we have something that I wish we had for a growth mode, which is we built out the viral leaderboard, which highlights and showcases all the most viral content on social media that you can just basically rip off and duplicate. We have the best YouTube videos that basically says, here's all the things that are trending. We track over 1,500 of the best creators. This is the single best place on the internet for anybody who's trying to grow their social media following is Listing Leads, specifically our kind of highlight reels of social media and Instagram. Now, what we do for the plan to keep things simple is you see here, Lee, we create a social shareable or a video of the week. And so this is a long form version of like, what does 500,000 versus 600,000 versus 700,000 get you? And you can see here, we base this off the leaderboard. So Justin Martinez, who was on our leaderboard, generated almost 500,000 views, 100 times more than his average channel using this exact video. And what we do at Listing Leads is we replicate the show flow for you. So if I download this real quick so you can see this, I'll pull it up and I'll reshare my screen. And Lee, can you see this right now pulling up?
Yes. Yeah, PDF.
So we give you the script. Like this is the framework. Now you got to fill in with the details. Like, this is going to be like, what area you want to compare to, A versus B versus C. But this is the exact framework that Justin Martinez used to generate 500,000 views. So Lee, I want to be really clear about this. At Listing Leads, we organize all the best videos out there in one place. It is the single best feature, in my opinion, of Listing Leads for anyone who's serious about social media. We
Yep.
give you information on the hook, the CTA, we give you summaries, all that. And then every week, our team creates a version of that you can use, plug and play, and shoot. So what I would say for everyone who said yes, 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 I want you to absolutely I want you to absolutely make the video of the week and the social media videos we share on Listing Leads, make that like the thing you look at daily to inspire you. And you can begin to map this all out every single week. So just a great value add.
And
All
that
right.
is a
So,
great piece of content in particular. I would definitely recommend, Jimmy, if you scroll up, there's a link to his actual video
yep.
versus this video. Really great video. He's in Manhattan, so it's a little bit different. He's got 5 boroughs saying what can you get in each borough in 500,000. But
Yep.
such an easy thing to steal for what is 500 buy you for a condo in Atlanta versus a townhome versus a single family? What is living in the suburbs versus the city? Like this is a great video to borrow from, I must say.
I love it. I love it. And so on that note, um, so let me come back to the plan. I'll go back to share my screen here, Lee. Um, I'll come back to the plan. So Monday deal of the week, email. It's the 11 responses that Emily already got from the maybe email. Love seeing that, Emily. You'll see that in a Listing Leads ads in your near future. We've got the infinite referral script. Send this to 15 people per week between now and the end of the year, and you will get 5 to 10 additional warm referrals. Nicole already attested, like the ghost text just works, get it out the door, and then you get a content to build up your plan. This is your marketing plan. And this is the thing about Listing Leads, like this is the plan.
Just
Just
do it.
Just go ahead and do it. We got you covered. We got you covered. Just go do the plan. Just check the boxes. Don't worry about the results. Don't worry about getting an ROI immediately. That it's you're going to see it happen every single week. These moments and glimmers where you're having conversations you weren't having before. You're getting more engagement. You're getting more people opening. You're getting more referrals. We create the plan to make your life easier. We are your chief marketing officers. It's our job to put the best foot forward to make sure you're set up for success. On that note, Lee, I dropped the chat. I cannot wait to share this, Lee. Um, we talked about this last week. I said, how many of you want to do an end of year challenge? And so, by the way, if you're not part of the Listing Leads community on Facebook, Lee will drop a link into that right now. Um, which is, and well, actually, before I do that, Lee, drop a link to the mastermind group, please. But Garrett's saying, can you talk about combating email fatigue and protecting your email sender? Yeah, so Garrett, the short answer is uh, when you send emails, there's a few factors that go into your reputation that are beyond the technicals of like your SCMs and your like DMARCs and all that stuff that it's been a little while since I've brushed up on that. But besides the technical side of it, the things that really matter is the people you're sending it to are do you have valid emails? We actually just integrated at AI mode. We just integrated with a feature called Never Bounce. So we now are beginning to scrub the emails to make sure they're valid before we send them to avoid like bounces and just like false flag unsubscribes. So do you have a good list? Have you conditioned your email list to receive emails from you? Number one. Number two, does your content primarily provide value? Like unsubscribes are part of the game. It's going to happen. But if you are kind of consistently providing value with your emails, don't fall into the trap of saying, "Well, I want to send one email per week." Because Garrett, I'll give you a quick test. Okay, what's today, Lee? Today's Monday.
Monday.
Um, Lee, we get emails on Sunday.
Yes,
Okay.
indeed.
Can you name a single company that emailed you yesterday?
I cannot.
Can anybody? Like I can't. Can you think of a single company that emailed me yesterday? I can't. And so email fatigue is a little bit of a story that we tell ourselves that somehow this individual who we're emailing is only getting emails from us. And like I said, if they are fatigued, that means that that's a blessing, not a curse. It means that like we're actually getting their
They're reading
attention.
it.
they're actually reading it. So the reality is that email marketing, I mean, we at listing leads, we send probably now 25 emails a month easily, one per day,
Right.
sometimes two per day. Yeah, we get some unsubscribes, but it helps us build our awareness. And I think, Gary, the point is if you continue to focus on providing value, you can you're not going to run into the fatigue piece, and then B, when you do a direct response cancel like Emily got just did, you're going to get a great response because you've conditioned them to kind of get emails from you. So I'm just a much bigger believer in the fact that we're not sending enough emails, and that too many is really a non-issue for the vast majority of agents and marketers out there. So Lee, let's end with this. First off, if for those of you who are new to Campaign Kickoff Call, let us know in the chat. Was this helpful? We host these every single Monday at 2 p.m. to go over the marketing plan. We want to make sure we kind of inspire you and give you the insight you need to say, hey, this is what we have mapped out for you this week. Our goal is to make sure that we get you in the right mindset and give you the right tools. And it's great to see so many people coming back to these calls over and over and over again. Lee, end of year challenge. Let me just set this up for everybody because starting next week, we have the next week going all the way into the new yearly. We are going to do the campaign kickoff calls like we just did, 30 minutes. And then we are going to do a tight 30-minute skills based training. And what you're going to love about this, so starting next week, we're going to be going over low cost lead generation for list building. We're going to be covering how to create long form content using AI. We're going to cover how to become a master of Instagram Reels. We are going to go super deep on YouTube marketing. We're going to cover lead conversion, expired listings. So every single week between now all the way through the end of the year into the new year, We are going to now have a campaign kickoff call, which would be about 20 minutes. We'll tighten it up, 20 minutes, followed by a skills based deep dive. And this is going to be, we have an amazing guest, by the way. We got amazing guests who are joining us, some subject matter experts who are joining us on these calls. So you guys are gonna be able to look out for that. We will post all the details of what's coming next for the listing challenge in our private mastermind group. But be on the lookout. Every campaign kickoff call now throughout the rest of the year, going into next year, we are going to do a campaign kickoff call plus a skills based session to make sure that you are absolutely operating at the highest possible level to grow your business. On that note, Lee, uh, this is amazing, man. I mean, the feedback has been great. I appreciate everyone who's part of the community. Stay active in the group, and we will see you next week. Get ready to buckle up and get to work, my friends.